and we don't really know who Matt's going to choose. I feel like Rachel makes it relatively far, so it's hard to edit her out in a situation like this. And they could possibly be in a relationship, you know, so it's something that, like, I'm sure if Matt and her are in a relationship, they're having so many conversations that, like, we have not seen. And if they end up together, I can imagine that after the final rose will be a huge focus on this. So it's hard when there's so much that's, like, held back, you know?
You don't think this means that? Because that's my other thing. Like, you know, I mean, I think if she didn't win, like, it's easy to either edit her out, like you said, like, you know, people that have been edited out, or just put a warning. Like, I've seen, like, on Drag Race, they had a situation and they put a thing on, you know, just saying, like, this person, like, did this or whatever, and we don't stand by the actions until that person was sent home. So it's almost like, to me, I think she wins the whole show, which, I mean, now everybody thinks.
Yeah, because Chris did make, I mean, it didn't seem in his character to be as defensive. You know, I almost think he was protecting her and the show and the outcome of the show over maybe his own ideas, or maybe what would have been a better place, you know, to like, express himself. I honestly don't agree with how Chris conducted himself. I think he could have conducted himself so much better. And I think a lot of what he said, like, made me cringe. And I was like, it just didn't seem like the Chris that I knew. So, and Rachel held herself really well in, like, a situation like that. I was actually, you know, I was glad to see that she handled herself so professionally. And it's hard when you're in a situation that is blatantly, like, not okay, and to keep your calm and to be able to address it in, like, a very professional way. Like, you know, kudos to her. I don't think she should have to deal with anything like that. But yeah, and I think Chris taking some time off the show is good.
You do?
Yeah.
What did he say that made you cringe?
There was a part that he said where, and also Brian mentioned it as well. He said, well, who are you? He, like, corrected himself. But, like, that statement of, like, who are you to say something? And I was just like, what? Like, who is Rachel Lindsay? She is, like, one of the most successful bachelorettes that we've had. And she's just doing so much with her life. And to say something like that was where I was like, I just don't know where that came from, you know? And saying things like the woke police, and, you know, this is, like, a movement that we've all been through, that we all are, of course, like, still learning, but, like, it's so important to be open and receptive of learning, and to not to put pride into anything, or, you know, so, and also speaking from a place where he doesn't really have understanding, you know, and to try to defend a place that doesn't have as much understanding. Like, there's a lot of ignorance in that. So, I definitely think he's reflecting. I feel like there's a lot that he probably was ashamed of saying, and, you know, so but, you know, unfortunately it's already said, and I guess it's one of those things that we can all see as, like, an example